In times of conflict and war, cultural heritage around the world faces irreparable damage. But what can be done to protect it? We looked at some examples of how Switzerland has helped protect cultural goods. In Geneva, for instance, a recent exhibition showed a small but rich collection of artefacts from Gaza. Our journalist Amal Meki spoke to the curator Béatrice Blondin.
This exhibition is important as it marks the 70th anniversary of the 1954 Hague Convention. This was the first convention to exclusively protect cultural heritage. Before that, it was the law of war that dealt with it.
The Museum of Art and History has been conserving around 530 artefacts from Gaza for nearly 2 decades now. The objects came here in 2007 for an exhibition. There have since been several attempts to return them.
Since then, the objects have had to stay here, so our museum is taking care of them. This is particularly important these days, when we know that cultural heritage has been destroyed on the ground. So these objects have an even greater importance for heritage.
While the Gaza objects came to Switzerland legally, other cultural goods have come here as looted art, hidden away in places like the Geneva Freeport. That's a vast warehouse complex for the storage of art and other valuables. In recent decades, the Freeport has been criticised for its part in the looted antiquities trade, money laundering schemes, and tax avoidance. Recent laws passed in Switzerland have tried to increase transparency around the Freeport's contents.
For example, in 2017, we held an exhibition featuring objects from Syria, Libya and Yemen that had been seized at the Geneva Freeport. This was illegal trafficking. The museum organised an event in collaboration with the Public Prosecutor's Office to talk about the law on the international transfer of cultural goods, which combats illegal trafficking in Switzerland.
We asked our colleagues at swissinfo.ch about examples from their regions, where Switzerland played a key role in preserving cultural heritage. Igor Petrov, from our Russian language department, told us about a Ukrainian case.
Russia's aggression against Ukraine, which has been going on for more than 1,000 days, has also dealt a blow to Ukrainian culture. So Swiss museums have come to the aid of their Ukrainian colleagues, and Ukrainian paintings have found refuge in Swiss galleries. Many found a way to transport their paintings from Ukraine to Switzerland and to organize an exhibition of modern and traditional Ukrainian art here.
Our colleague Patricia Islas from the Spanish department shared some cases with us from South America.
We can mention 3 examples. First case, the protection of Spanish art. In 1939, a vast number of paintings belonging to the Museo Nacional del Prado of Madrid were transferred to Geneva during the Spanish Civil War. The Spanish government, unable to guarantee the integrity of the national art treasure, was forced to accept international mediation. Madrid set up an agreement with the Secretary General of the League of Nations to deposit the Spanish works of art in Geneva. The Francoist authorities also allowed an exhibition of some of these works at the Musée d'Art et d'Histoire in Geneva, before their return to Spain in September 1939. Second case, safety copy of the Guatemala Police Archives. The discovery of the police archive was in 2005. A measure created to preserve this archive was to transfer a safety digital copy to Switzerland. By late 2020, the Minister of Culture of Guatemala named this archive a part of the nation's cultural heritage. Third case, preserving the archives of the Colombian Truth Commission. The Swiss government approved in 2023 an agreement to retain a digital backup copy of the archives of the Colombian Truth Commission, which contains sensitive information on human rights violations during the conflict in Colombia. Switzerland supports the Colombian peace process by keeping the record today a painful cultural heritage of Colombia.
These are just some examples that show how Switzerland is dedicated to preserving culture, and exhibitions like the one in Geneva can play a key part.
The destruction of cultural heritage has increased over the last 20 years or so. Think of the destruction of the Bamiyan Buddhas in 2003. In 2013, the mausoleums of Timbuktu, and in 2015, the site of Palmyra. Cultural heritage has really become the target either of terrorist groups or conflicts. So raising public and professional awareness has become an important mission for museums.
While highlighting the importance of protecting cultural heritage during conflicts, the Geneva exhibition also tells a story of resilience and the enduring connection between people and their history.
This picture shows the city of Gaza in 1900. It was taken by Father Raphael Savignac, and it shows a Gaza that no longer exists, except for the minaret of the Great Omari Mosque that you see on the left. I chose this image because of the mosque's history. First there was a pagan temple, then a Christian church, then a mosque, then a Crusader church, and finally this Al-Omari Mosque. This building was destroyed several times by earthquakes and was rebuilt. In 1917 it was bombed by the British. The mosque was rebuilt again. Now we know that in December 2023 it was bombed again and was partially destroyed. This rebuilding process demonstrates resilience, and that's very important. I think we also need to focus on the long term and have a look at what comes after and tell ourselves that this heritage will be rebuilt, just as we see it with other countries featured in this exhibition. These are projects that manage to return cultural heritage to their people.